the Dark Side Podcast with Yvonne.
Music scene. Tyler. Sanaya. Azaria.
And then today we're going to be answering questions about the Atlantic slave trade. Our first question would be, what would you do if you saw your village getting massacred?
What I'm thinking about right now is a 12-pound bag of seafood boil.
I would cry and be scared and don't know what to do. Because that's
That it literally is. Like, but okay, so I have a question for you. How would you feel if you were being married at a young age?
If I was married at a young age, I would feel like relieved. Like
You feel
I
like,
don't know.
You feel like relieved, like
I
you
don't
like
know.
you may. It depends, like these men that you're
yeah. Bessa was the love of her life.
So what's love her life?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, it depends. If you're love
So
your
like,
life,
if it's the love of your life, yeah. then
so that
get
question kind of varies. It depends on the type of person you are. I would want to get married at a young age because I feel like I would not be established enough to take care of a family. So then we're gonna have you answer the question. What would you do if you were in a room with a batch of women?
I would feel very nastiful because I'm in a room with a whole bunch of women who are naked and who hasn't taken a shower in a very long time.
Yeah.
So I would not feel right.
But you gotta think, people didn't really shower that much back then, you know, like. Okay, I have a question for you. How would you feel if you got branded with a hot iron?
I would feel one disgusting because
Disgusting!
who wants to get brandy?
Yeah.
Right.
And two,
The pain. You have the pain.
Yeah, the pain.
You know, I know you.
I feel like you get mysterious.
Yeah, I just thought the whole thing was really dark-sided, how the way the slaves got treated and stuff. I feel like,
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, and Yvonne,
My question
how
is-
would you feel if you had to prostitute yourself?
I mean, in this day and age, if I was a prostitute, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be up. Because I think I'm a little hot. Because I think I'm a little hot. I think I'll be up. They'll be buying this. But back then, like, they were just like getting, people were going with them free, no money. They were still hungry, barely even clothes. I feel like it was very wrong, and I feel like it was really stole for them. Because when you're a prostitute, I feel like that question is even right, because these women were raped. They were not prostituting. Like, when you're a prostitute, you willingly give away your body for money or for other things, and they were not prostitutes. They were just stolen. Like, they just stole their cooch. Like, it's nothing they could do about it. Then for our next question we got, how would you feel if you were changed? I feel like you guys should ask these questions more in depth.
I would feel like I'm a dog, because why are we chaining people up?
Yeah.
That's really sick.
But you can't do nothing if you're chained up. You just
Gotta sit there and take it and be chained up like a dog.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. But you know, nowadays people do role play, but I won't be doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I'm just wondering.
What would you do if you were forced to dance half cover? All I thought of when those slave dance, like the only thing that went through my head was. I thought that was like you're uncomfortable.
Because like dancing half naked, right?
And remember, the men are touching you, like you're filling up on the chesticle, your butt, your cooter, cat, the
I feel like since they were not throwing any dollars,
Girl, bye.
were very uncomfortable. But I think this is back in the day where morals were more like thought. Like women weren't really like out there grinding. But you wasn't having strippers and stuff like that back in the day. So it's like. When was this, like the early 16, like when it first started? I feel like these women felt very like nasty because these are women coming from Africa. These are nice, wholesome women living in the village, taking care of their husbands and their kids and their family. And they don't have, and when they dance, they really dance from joy. It's like the big village. They're really dancing, putting on a show. So I feel like they really felt kind of belittled. Like you're belittling their culture. When they dance back home, they're really dancing for a meaning. They really put on a show. They're really having joy. So I feel like it was really dark side. I think for you, Jamila, how would you feel if rats were eating you alive little by little?
Listen, okay? I would literally shit and die. Promise. Like, rats eating up on me while I'm trying to
While you're
rest.
chained up, you literally cannot move. I feel like
That's
these,
nasty.
what these
Yeah.
slaves had to endure was crazy. I feel like
But no, I think the men, with the men, it was worse for the men because the men were stacked up on each other and their bodies were chained together.
and
the
they
ones
barely
on
let the man
top-
out, because what can a man do for them?
Right, and like the
Nothing.
men were like pooping on each other, peeing on each other,
Yeah.
vomiting on each other.
That was the worst.
That was actually really nasty.
Yes, to have.
Yeah!
To be sitting up with someone else's fecal feces and pee and all of that and vomit. Yeah, laying down, you can't even move. I feel like that was so wrong. Like, if you're gonna at least capture me and take me from home, give me Texas Roadhouse and put me in a clean environment.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, broski. Your Uber's on the way.
And not only that, they have rats eating down there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like the women had to walk through that with like the vomit and the shit and the pee on the floor with no shoes, no socks.
Yeah, that's dark.
Disgusting.
That is the definition of dark-sided. The slave, the Atlantic slave, the slaves, the whole everything. It was just all the definition of dark-sided. I have never seen anything so dark-sided and sinister in my life. This is literally like Satan himself. These men were Satan themselves. Like, to put someone through these conditions, a whole time I would have thought, like, what if these were my culture and my village and my people that I'm literally traveling from the whole world to be enslaved? And I don't even think the enslavement was the worst part. It was literally getting to become a slave. Like, that was the worst part. Like, you know, having to pick a little crops, and, you know, that was not the worst part, but it's like the way they housed them, the way they had to live, all that stuff was very, very exciting. But let's get on to the next question, because we ain't got all day.
Text my phone, said he got the Marky 10s, and now I'm happy as a bitch. Do the Marky 10s.
Check. And so we just see, how would you feel if you saw bodies getting tossed overboard?
That's a little crazy and a little much, throwing people off.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they were eaten off of and like they were already dead, I might as well, like, that's better for them because then you're not torturing them anymore. So
Well,
But then think about it, like, what if you were tossed?
but
Like,
you gotta think about, like, but you gotta think about, what if that was your cousin, your sister, somebody?
they not hurting no more. Like,
IDGAF. I don't give a fuck. Period.
I'd rather them being tossed overboard.
No,
than
you understand. In Africa, you gotta put yourself in the African shoes. In Africa, burial is like a big thing. Like, they really celebrate that. Like, so it's like, we're used to seeing our family members getting buried, getting put in the ground, getting put back into the earth. They're going back to the ocean. You do not. So unless the sharks eat you,
That's them.
or you're just there for.
You're just there floating. But I mean, it's better than being alive and chained up.
It is. I do agree. Death was better than the Atlantic slave trade.
Okay, wait, guys. I
So
have a question.
it could be both. Like a bad thing and a good thing.
Yeah.
So y'all, I have a question. This question is not on there, but how would y'all feel if your kid fell, like, while the ship was rocking? How would y'all feel? How would y'all feel? Like, what would y'all do if y'all saw y'all kid?
I tried to change.
Y'all kid in the ocean.
I don't know. I would have to die too, because in there.
I want y'all to do something for me. No matter what. Don't never forget about me. I'm always gonna be here in your mind.
This is life. Like, I literally brought this in the world. This is literally a pigmentation of me. And my whole job as a parent is to protect and provide for your kids. That's literally your whole job. So for the fact that I can't protect or provide for my kids because of the predicament that I'm in, it'll make me feel less of a parent, less of everything. Like, it will take away from your manhood, your womanhood, or whatever, that you can't take care of your kids. So I just feel like her jumping over was like the only rational decision to make. Because if my kid
Belly flopping into the pool.
my little sibling, anybody that I really love, went over the water and they don't know how to swim and the sharks are about to eat them alive, we're gonna get eaten together. And now I have to give them some of that.
Don't drown. Hold up, nah, little bitch, don't drown.
We're done. What would you like to say, Jamila? That's not your name.
Oh my god.
That's Azaria.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, and then you gotta think about it. She has nothing else to live for.
No,
her and her child will put together, and then her child fell. So it's like, what did she have to live for?
I can't.
She had no hope. So if she would have survived or whatever, she was hopeless. Like,
And to deal with your child loss would have been so much for her. I feel like this whole book has been so dark-sided, and it really just talks about what they don't talk about, like in school. It's really crazy how I'm just learning out about all this stuff now in high school when we should have been talking about how they were treating African American slaves back in the day.
Right.
Like, and they still ain't talk about Madame LaRue. We ain't gonna get into all that. We're gonna save that for next podcast.
They don't even want. I want to talk about Maya Angelou.
Maya
Call the police now. Yeah, call them now.
Yeah, America. I don't know. I feel like slaves, like they should have been more into like indentured servants.
They talked about
indentured servants didn't go through that much.
Maya Angelou,
the rock, the tree,
and the river.
So yeah, guys, who's gonna get me in the podcast?
Huh?
Who's gonna get me in the podcast?
Who's gonna what?
In the podcast.
Huh? What? Oh.
I'll end it. Excuse you.
So yes, guys, goodbye. We have started
This was The Dark Sided. This is T Out. Thank you for watching The Dark Sided Podcast.
Goodbye, guys.
Don't drown. Hold up, nah, little bitch, don't drown. Ah, don't drown. Hold up, nah, little bitch, don't